says, "Hey boys, what do you have?" Well, the chicken speaks up right away. He says, "We'll have some ham and eggs." Well, the pig looks at the chicken and says, "Hold there, chickadee. That meal requires only partial commitment out of you, yet total commitment out of me." How committed are you to the things that matter most to you in your life? Your God, your spouse, your children, your job, pipeline, packaging? Are you sold out? Are you totally committed like the pig? Or are you only partially committed like the chicken? Vince Lombardi, great football coach, once said, "Most people fail not because of lack of desires, but because of lack of commitment." People have great desire to achieve lofty goals, but are they committed to achieving those goals? Be all in for the things that matter most to you. My final year of coaching was in 2015. Following the season, the Giants fired Coach Coughlin. They transitioned me out of the weight room into personnel for the final year of my contract. I retired from the NFL, from New York Giants, in 2017. And as I look back over my career, I learned my final lesson that I'd like to share with you this afternoon. My future was not in my hands, but was in the hands of the Lord. One of the biggest struggles a coach has throughout his career is the concern of getting fired. There's a cliche in the athletic world that says, if you're a coach, you're either fired or going to be fired. Coaching is a very volatile profession by which success is really measured by the performance of young men and women. How well this 16-year-old, 19-year-old, 24-year-old, 35-year-old individual performs will determine whether or not you're going to have food on your table. They determine your livelihood. And come game day, who knows what they're thinking about? Are they focused, ready to play? Are they all in? Or is their mind on their girlfriend? Or is their mind on their contract or their finances? Who knows what they're thinking about? Yet their performance will determine whether or not you have a job. Despite this responsibility to perform, some athletes do not take this responsibility seriously. I can honestly say one of the most frustrating things for me was to come in to the work on Monday, train the guys on Monday following a Sunday loss, and having guys laughing and carrying on as if that loss didn't matter. Here you are fighting for your job, doing everything you can, and they're acting like, hey, it's no big deal. Losses don't only affect you, it also affects your family. Your family will be affected by losses. So after defeat, my wife, Ellen, her stomach would be so tied up in knots that I would still be hurting her the next day. She knew the ramifications of too many losses. She knew if we had a bad record, that we're going to be moving. But to upgrade, take the family, move to a different city, and start all over again. I would say that more than anything, my profession taught me to trust in the Lord in my future. Early in my career, I came across Jeremiah 29:11 when I was at North Carolina looking for my first job. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future. I knew that God had plans for my life, and those plans were good. And Ellen and I held on to that verse to give us some stability as we worked through the volatileness of our profession. I would say more than... So, in 1993, when I was at Kansas State, we had an opportunity to interview at North Carolina. Didn't get that job. Had an opportunity to interview at South Carolina. Didn't get that job. Ellen, with her great face, said, wow, North Carolina's not good enough for us. South Carolina's not good enough for us. Boy, God's got great plans for us. Well, sure enough, I got a call from Coach Coughlin. He hired me at Boston College. And like I said, I was his strength coach for 21 years. Then it was 2003. I was the last coach to get fired from the Jacksonville staff. When a coach called me up, new coach called me up and said, hey, can you clean out your office by the weekend? So, okay, told Alan, and then began packing things up. 30 minutes after I got that phone call, my friend from New Orleans Saints called me up and said, Jerry, how you doing? I said, Rocky, I'm not doing too good, just got fired. He said, oh, didn't know. My assistant job was open, you want to come work for me? I'm thinking, here I am, didn't do a thing, and God just provided another job for me. While leaving Jacksonville, it was really difficult for us. We had that U-Haul pack. We're leaving, tears are coming down our eyes because we had so many memories there over those 8 years. Our kids grew up there. But if we never left Jacksonville, we would not have been available to go to New York and experience the success that we had there. So it looked like a tragedy, turned out to be a blessing. And furthermore, because we're from New Jersey, we were able to share all that success with those we love the most, our family. Psalm 20, verse 7 says, some trust in chariots and some in horses, but we trust in the name of the Lord our God. Well, I worked hard to be good at my craft, to be the best I can be, and I was very blessed to work under some very loyal people. I chose to put my trust in the Lord rather than my skills, my talents, and the people I work for. As a result, I'm truly a blessed man. I have a godly wife. We are blessed with 2 beautiful children, a daughter-in-law, a grandson. I've experienced professional success, winning 2 Super Bowls and other professional recognition. And I was privileged to work for an outstanding coach and man in top counsel. Many years ago, my wife Ellen claimed this verse for me. And she prayed through this verse, do you see a man skilled at his work? He will serve before kings. He will not serve before obscure men. Well, God provided Tom Coughlin to be my professional king. And above all, I consider it an honor to have served God in this profession. I hope that I served him well and that I significantly impacted the lives of others. So, there you go. 10 life lessons that I learned from coaching. There's no substitute for hard work. Sometimes you have to midstream adjust. People do what you inspect, not what you expect. Coach the Brandon Brandenburgs, the Joe Feldmans, and the Chase Blackburns. The first time you quit will be the hardest. Be the best you can be wherever God has you. Never get too big for the little people. For what did nothing is a kiss of death. All in. My future is in the hands of the Lord. Thank you so much for your attention, for giving me this opportunity to share with you this afternoon. Hope you have a great time.